possible for them to have AI models that help them to say in our database, Sifuna has 9,000 shillings that is owed to him, this has an unclaimed asset, and they send me a message. They don't need to wait for me to come to their offices. And I think that is a challenge that can be solved by technology. Of course, we have had conversations about modeling AIs in order for them to be useful to us. And I think it was overall a very enlightening conversation.
Maybe you can also highlight on the dispute resolution, which was all spoken in the morning.
Yes, the engineer from Kenya has actually encouraged advocates not just to be waiting for disputes. There is something he spoke about, dispute avoidance, that it is possible, especially in the tendering space for large infrastructure, for us to avoid disputes, especially disputes that then go to delay implementation of projects, especially at the Public Procurement Review Board. But one of the critical takeaways, and this is something that I have been saying throughout, he said that we need infrastructure to be developed within cost and within the rule of law. One of the conversations we are having in the country, there's people who think that we are against construction of roads. Everybody can see, for instance, that the Dongokundu bypass has really helped, even in terms of hosting these conferences in the southern region of the coast. That road has helped, but it has to be delivered at cost, which means let there be no corruption in the tendering process, let there be no inflation of the cost of the road. Let's not hear people have eaten kickbacks. Let's not hear that the highest tenderer or the lowest tenderer was the one who was not given opportunity to build the road. And that is the conversation we're having, that even that physical infrastructure development has to be undertaken in the context of the Constitution, of the rule of law, and of all the other things that we speak about as the software issues in this country. So it has been quite enlightening. Yes. Yes.
Do you think we need regulations on the use of AI, especially in the legal profession?
I think there has been quite a number of proposals in Parliament itself on how to regulate the use of AI. If you were in the session there is a lady who spoke about, she represents children, for instance, and she was asking from the Google engineer if it is possible, for instance, to permanently remove some of the images that are very disturbing, especially involving children, from the web. So, of course, even the use of AI has to be regulated. You have seen, like in the political space these days, sometimes it is very easy to deceive people. I saw a photo circulating claiming that that was me in primary school. And it is very easy to deceive people because it's an AI manufactured photo, and they claim this is Sifuna from which year in primary. That is not me. And I have seen even my own parents. My own parents have actually been fooled into believing I have said something, yet they know that they didn't know that it was an AI audio or an AI video. So I'm like, Mom, how can you not know that that is not your child? That is how good that AI has gotten, that it can actually fool your own mother to believe that you said something that you actually did not say. So yes, we need regulation, especially to fight misinformation and disinformation using AI. And especially when we get into the campaign period, Kenyans must look out for this misinformation and disinformation, and don't fall for lies that are generated through this technology.
Maybe last one from me before we move to the political agenda. We have only 1 year, Your Excellency, to move to 2027 election.
Yes.
And as we close the session today, we'll be talking about electoral reforms.
Yes.
Do you believe it will be, whatever will be spoken here will be implemented so that we can avoid maybe bias when it comes to electoral reforms?
We know that the implementers of the election are here with us. I saw the chair of the IEBC, and we're going into that session that is going to discuss electoral justice. It has been a recurrent theme throughout our elections, and I know that a tender was put out for procurement of technology for the elections in 2027, and even for the printing of ballot papers. One of the things that we want to ask the IEBC, because by and large as a political player, myself, I know that Kenyans have made a decision. What we don't want is a referee who then interferes or inhibits that will of the people from coming out. So even in the discussion, because if you look at previous elections, some of the biggest issues that came out from the election petitions was the use or misuse of technology. In 2022, for instance, our highest court, the Supreme Court, gave an order to the company that supplied the technology to open their servers so that we can be able to audit the election in accordance with our constitution. But they refused, hiding behind what they claim to be IP rights. This time round, we want a technology that will comply or will be used in accordance with the constitution, that it has to be auditable technology. And part of that process is what the IBC has begun, is to secure, first of all, technology from reputable companies, not companies that have historically been associated with electoral malpractices. Number two, we are demanding that that technology must come from a country that is reputable and countries that can hold their companies responsible or to account for practices outside their jurisdiction. For instance, in the famous Chicken Gate scandal, if it was not for the British Foreign Office or the British applying their Foreign Corrupt Practices Act, we would never have known that chicken exchanged hands in that election. After we heard that the officials of the company responsible had been jailed in the UK, is when Kenyans started asking, okay, you have gotten the people who gave the bribe, how about the people who received bribes? And that is how some officials from IEBC found themselves in jail. So even as we go into the 2027 election, we want the IEBC, first of all, to engage stakeholders, to understand that we as political players are expecting and we are demanding, it's not even a favor, we are demanding a system that is compliant with the constitution, that is auditable, that will not open back doors for any malpractices, because I have a feeling that Kenyans will not accept an election outcome that is tainted. So we are hoping when we go into the session, we can hear from the Commission how they plan to open up the process to scrutiny, from the procurement itself, to the identification of the suppliers, to the vetting of the suppliers, to the vetting of the technology, so that we can all have faith that the will of the people will carry the day in August of 2027.
Last one, away from that, you're a political figure representing Linda Mwananchi on the ground. Are you going direct to the ballot?
You can't ask me that here. We are here as lawyers. I will refuse to engage into any other discussion.
Thank you.
And I'm asking, I ask myself, you journalists, if I'm going to answer such a question, will I do it here with you? It is not possible. You just be patient. Just be patient. Be patient.
No, the Wananchi have sent us. And because they represent Wananchi like me.
They also speak to me. They also speak to me wananiambia hii kitu wacha iwe mpaka ndani, labda tutafanya ile kitu.